Okay, so today we're gonna start lying down on our back. And as usual, just taking the time that you need to really arrive to this space. And you can stay with your legs extended or otherwise in what we call CRP, constructive rest pose, which is basically like some of you are already doing with your feet separated and the knees are touching, so resting towards one another. And the hands can be on the belly or otherwise opening the arms alongside the body. And taking a few deep breaths, inhaling deeply and exhaling, sigh out. And it doesn't have to be noisy or to be in a certain way. Just making sure with 2 more breaths that you are slowing down. And when you're done with those 3 deep breaths, just coming back to your normal breathing. And just noticing if that's deep or shallow. And often we use the breath as an anchor point, as something that we come back to if our mind is wandering around, which is normal, to come back to the present moment. And so maybe focusing on the tip of your nostrils, noticing the temperature, the sensation on those areas as you breathe in and out. Or option 2, directing your attention to the belly and how the belly moves as you inhale and exhale. This week, you may have heard of the word Blue Monday, especially yesterday. And that was brought up to maybe encourage people to buy flights. I don't know if you know the story, that it was brought up by a flight company as, you know, this Monday should be the most depressive day of the winter. So maybe we look forward to journeys and trips, holidays. But I like you to not only look forward, and especially with yoga, with all this attention to the breath, to the body, to also look at the present moment. To look at what we have now, to appreciate what you have now. Maybe your cat, maybe this space with a different light, maybe a new week at work, maybe just lying down and feeling grounded and supported. And from here, staying where you are, but we'll slowly separate the knees so that they are pointing up and they are facing, they are in the same line as your ankles, more or less. And then from here, we open the eyes and we place the arms in a cactus shape. So we lift the arms up and the palms are facing up. So we open the chest. And again, a few breaths here. Inhale deeply. And deep exhale. And from here, we are going to move to cat and cow poses. So usually we arch the spine and then tuck the tailbone in. I don't know if some of you are new to yoga. Let me know and I can show what we usually do. But regardless, I'd like you to think of when you inhale to open the chest, arching the spine. So opening especially the upper chest. And when you exhale to round the spine, tuck the tailbone down, chin towards the chest. And then following your breath, inhale to open the chest, looking up, maybe looking backwards. And as you exhale, rounding the spine, feeling the contact of the low spine on the ground. One more time, inhale to open the chest. So the low back is detached from the ground. Exhale, rounding the spine. So again, feeling the contact of the low back. And staying here for a moment in this modified cat pose. And actually, I would like to think of a dog instead, or a cat maybe. But you know, dogs when they have the tail down, like in between their legs. So that's what we are aiming to do, really rounding the low back, tilting the pelvis, and feeling the spine maybe a bit longer. That's going to help us today through some of the movements. And then coming to a neutral spine. When it's neutral, there is that natural curve in the low spine, so it's not attached to the ground anymore. And just staying here for a few more rounds of breaths. Breathing normally. And again, coming back to your breath. And then from here, with your arms, extend your arms up and forward, and then reach with your hands towards your heels. So maybe your heels go, a bit closer to your buttock cheeks. And we're gonna slowly peel the hips up. So we're going to bridge pose, but we're gonna do it very, very slowly, thinking that your spine is like a Velcro and you don't wanna make any noise as you peel the Velcro off of the other side. So when you're ready, sending the hips high, very slowly, coming up with the hips more or less in line with your knees, and then opening through the chest as well, making space for your shoulders to be open. And then slowly coming back down as if the Velcro is attaching. So we say one vertebra at a time. It's not really the case probably, but just just as an image to say it's going to be very slow with a lot of awareness to it. And let's do it 2 more times. When you're ready, peeling your spine off the ground, hips up to the sky slowly. And again, lying down slowly. Last time, variation, if you'd like to have the arms in cactus shape like we did before, and then moving through the same shape. So peeling the hips off the ground. squeezing the glutes, and then lower upper spine, middle, lower spine, tailbone, tail in between the legs, if we were to have a tail. And then just release, come back to your neutral spine. Breathing here, and option to stay where you are, or otherwise option to allowing so rotating the hands so that the hands are close to your ears and the fingers are pointing towards the back of the room. And then slowly open the chest and slide the head so that you're looking backwards. You don't need to go all the way to wheel. It's just a way to open the chest and start to move. Well, to open the throat area as well. And then release, chin towards the chest, coming down to neutral spine. Release the arms as well alongside the body. Inhale. Exhale, hug your knees in towards the chest. And taking any movements, if you'd like to grab the external edges of the feet in a happy baby pose, feel free. And know that in a moment we'll move to a seat. So you can make your way there if you like. You can place the hands on the shins or on the back of your thighs, and send the forehead close to the knees and rock and roll a few times until you have enough momentum, or otherwise feel free to join us in a seated position when you'd like. Crossing the legs, and again cat and cow shapes. So inhale to open the chest, looking up. Exhale, rounding the spine, look down at your navel. Inhale to open, and exhale, round. 3 more like this, following your breath, inhaling as you open and exhaling as you round the spine. And then when you're ready, when you're done with those, closing the eyes and just stay here for a few moments, noticing whatever you notice in your body and in your breath. And maybe making an intention for the class today. Intention to be more present. It's just a suggestion. You may have entered this room with something else in mind. Whatever it is, sealing it with your breath, inhaling deeply. And exhale out. And then placing the hands in front and coming to tabletop, and then moving to downward facing dog when you're ready. Tucking the toes, sending the hips up to the sky. Making any movements, any adjustments you need in your first downward facing dog. Bending the knees or sending the hips from side to side. Looking in between, underneath one elbow and then the other one. Shaking your head. And then finding stillness in your down dog. Knowing that there's no need to, it's not mandatory to have the heels on the ground. It's actually better sometimes to have the knees a bit bent, the heels a bit up, so that you send the hips up towards the sky. Very nice adjustment here. Sending the shoulders down away from the ears. Super nice. And then just one change from here. Staying in downward facing dog, but sending both heels to the left side. And then coming back to center, inhale. Exhale, sending the heels to the other side. Making sure that the weight is on both hands. Still feeling that stretch on the side edge, on the side body. Coming back to center, inhale. And deep exhale. And then bending the knees, look towards your hands, walking towards the top of your mat. Separating the feet hip width distance apart, grabbing opposite elbows and sway from side to side, ragdoll. Allowing your head to be heavy. The top of the head pointing down towards the ground. Release the hands down, the arms. Shake your head, no. Shake your head, yes. And then bend your knees a lot, rise up, all the way up slowly. Roll the shoulder blades down and back. And heel toe your feet together. Inhale, sweep your arms out and up towards the ceiling. Exhale, hands to prayer to your chest. One more time. Inhale to open. And this time, exhale, opening the feet hip, a bit more like towards the side edges of the mat. And preparing to go down to squat pose. Malasana. Inhale where you are. As you exhale, place the hands forward. Send your feet a bit closer. And then from here, we want to move like in waves. So we'll send the knees forward. So bending the knees and sending the knees forward. So a bit more forward compared to your toes. And then basically opening. So sending the knees forward, then the hips forward, then the chest. So opening and then closing, coming down to the ground, coming back to Malasana. Squat pose, yeah. Inhale where you are. As you exhale, folding forward, your feet a bit closer, so hip width distance apart. Then again, bending the knees a lot. The knees go forward, the hips as well as you reach out and open in the arms. And then close down. So folding over your legs, Malasana, one more time. And don't worry too much about the directionality of, how the arms are going. We just want to mobilize the spine today. So when you're ready, one more time. Feet are hip width distance apart. Release any engagement on the shoulders. Bend the knees a lot, rising up. Opening through your chest. And then folding over your legs. And then from here, bending the left knee. And the left knee. And then open so the left hand stays on the ground. The right arm goes up. So twisting to the right side. Looking up if that's comfortable, or otherwise looking down at your hand. Switching sides when you're ready, bending the right, twisting to the left. And as you exhale, folding over your legs. Inhale to halfway lift, flat spine. The neck is a continuation of the spine. The hands can stay on the shins. As you exhale, fold over your legs, plant your thumbs, high plank pose. So we want to stack the shoulders and the wrists and push the upper back so that it's like in cat pose. Squeeze the glutes, looking forward. And then from here, we lower all the way down to the ground, bending the elbows close to the body, going down with your belly on the ground. For now, sending the left cheek on the ground, moving the hips, wiggling the hips. And then moving the cheek. So other cheek on the ground. Some stretch for the neck. And then from here, lift the forehead, so looking forward towards the top of your mat. And from here, bend the right knee and reach up. So we can go to cobra pose first, so lifting up with the chest. And then if we're able to go to an upward facing dog this time. So normally we do it with the knees off the mat, but today we'll keep the knees. Sorry if that's painful for some of you. Feel free to modify. And then from here, we send the foot to the opposite side. So we send the right foot to the left side and the knees pointing up, and we reach up and back with your right arm. Very nice. Your left leg is extended, your right leg is bent. This is called wild thing or flip dog. Coming back to where you started. So low lunge. And then from here, tucking the toes, send your hips up to the sky, downward facing dog. Inhale here in your down dog. Again, finding that stillness, pushing with all your knuckles, especially the index and thumbs of both of your hands. Relax the head. Inhale here. And as you exhale, ripple forward to plank pose. Again, puffing the upper chest, looking forward, and the knee, well, either knees down or going all the way down, bending the elbows. So either knees, chest, and chin, or otherwise reaching all the way down like we did on the other side. And right cheek on the mat, whichever you didn't start with before. And then the other side. And then facing the mat, pushing with your hands on the ground on the mat, sending your elbows towards one another. Reach up to cobra and then to upward facing dog with your knees on the ground, bending your left leg this time, looking up, opening through the chest, and then send the foot to the other side, feeling strong on that arm, hopefully, and coming to wild thing on this side. And it may be a bit different, reaching back, coming back to where you started slowly. Tabletop, downward facing dog. Inhale deeply. And exhale out. One more deep inhale. And out. And we're gonna repeat it a few times with some other poses, with some modifications. If you're ready, ripple forward to plank pose. Looking forward, very nice. And then slowly coming down, all the way down to the ground. We skip the cheek on the ground this time, lifting bending the right knee, reaching up, opening through the chest, and coming to wild thing on this side. And then from here, coming back to three-legged plank. So the right leg is off the ground, and then send the right foot in between the leg, in between the hands, coming up with your chest, low lunge. Inhale to a cactus shape of the arms, opening through the chest. As you exhale, extending the front leg and hinging forward, maybe interlacing the fingers if you like, behind your back. And then bending the front leg again. And framing the foot, tucking your back toes. Send your both leg back to high plank. Downward facing dog. Inhale deeply. And as you exhale, ripple forward to plank one more time, going all the way down to the ground. Bend your left knee, coming up with the chest. Wild thing on the other side. Open your chest and reach back with the arm. Very nice. And then place the hand where it was before and reach forward with the left foot in between the hands. Lower the back knee down, low lunge, rising up. Arms in cactus shape, opening through the upper chest. Exhale to lengthen the leg, half split pose. Very nice. And then coming back, bending the front leg again and framing the foot, tucking the back toes, high plank, downward facing dog. Breathing deeply here. And deep exhale. Maybe bending, maybe extending the, I think you can widen a bit, yeah. And the legs can be a bit separated, very nice. And can be even more bent, the knees, yeah. More shoulders down away from the ears. And this time, a few other modifications. When you're ready, ripple forward, high plank. Lower all the way down. As you inhale, bend the right knee and reach up with the torso, with the upper body. And like we did before, send the foot down to the other side, but this time let it go to the other side completely so that the shin, the outside of your right shin is touching the ground. Yeah, like that. And then place the right hand behind your back. Yes, like that. And then release the left hand and send the hips forward, opening to this side. And yeah, if your knee is hurting, don't worry, especially on the ground. Yeah, for this version of, yeah, very nice. And then coming back down to where we were before, both hands behind the back and coming back to wild thing, so the version that we did before. So holding on the left hand and reaching up and back. Very nice, Delphine. And then from here, coming to a high lunge. So like we did before, framing coming back to face the mat, not frame. And then reach forward with the right foot. But this time, instead of going to low lunge, we're going to high lunge. So the back knee is off the ground, rising up. Opening in a cactus shape like we did before. The back leg can be a bit bended. And then from here, shortening the stand, extending both legs. The back foot is at 45 degrees angle, more or less. Hips facing forward. Inhale here. Exhale, pyramid pose. Reaching forward. Don't need to go super low, but can you drag the right hip back and the left hip forward? The hands can stay where they are or on the shin of your right leg. And then bending the right knee, frame the right foot, coming back to plank and send your hips up to the sky for downward facing dog. Breathing here. And again, making any movement. And then finding stillness as we prepare to move to the other side. And when you're ready, ripple forward to high plank, feeling strong on your high plank, coming all the way down to the ground with your belly on the ground. The hands are close to the chest. Bend your left knee, elbows close to the body. Inhale, rising up with the chest, upward facing dog. Send the left foot towards the ground. And this time sending the shin of your left foot, of your left leg on the ground, reaching up and back. So sending the hips forward and reaching back with your right arm. Low version of wild thing. And making any adjustments. If you need more cushioning, let me know. Coming down with your sitting bones on the ground. So now both hands are behind, and then lifting the left one. So we're going back to wild thing on this side. So the right, for me it's the right, but it's fine if not. And then coming back to face the mat and coming to high lunge. So moving the right foot so that it's in the front in between your hands. And then from here, rising up to high crescent lunge. The back knee can be bent to give you stability. Inhale to cactus shape, opening the chest, looking up. As you exhale, shorten the stand into warrior one position of the legs. So the back foot is at 45 degrees angle. Prepare, square the hips, and then hinge forward. And again, the hands can stay here on the hips or on the shin, dragging the left hip backwards to square your hips. Then from here, bend the knee, the front knee, send both legs back to high plank, coming to downward facing dog when you're ready. Inhale deeply into your downward facing dog. Exhale deeply. 2 more rounds of breaths. Can you feel your spine long? Maybe those same movements that we did on the ground. So can you put your imaginary tail in between the legs? Can you relax the neck, the shoulders? Can you push the fingers and the knuckles on the ground? Thinking as if you have 2 jars below your hands, and you're opening a jar with your right hand and closing a jar with the other one. And then slowly coming to child's pose, allowing the knees to touch the ground, separating the knees as much as is comfortable for you, and reaching forward with your arms, letting the forehead come to the ground or to a block. Coming back to your breath. How is your breath doing? And then when you're ready, making your way to a tabletop position with your shoulders in line with the wrists and the knees in line with the hips. And then tucking the toes, coming back to downward facing dog. Breathing here, only one breath, and we'll move to the top of the mat when you're ready. Bending the knees, looking forward towards your hands, and walk or jump, your choice, to the top of your space. Again, separating the feet hip width distance apart. Option 2, grab opposite elbows or to interlace the fingers behind your back. Whichever way you choose, allowing the head to be heavy, to be muscles in the neck to be relaxed. And then slowly, slowly release the interlock of the fingers if you have that, and bend the knees, roll up your spine, one vertebra at a time, come to the top of your space. And from here, we're gonna fly a bit. So we'll move to moving the weight to the left leg, and we allow the right foot to be floating a bit from the ground. And first finding some stability. And from here, I like you to imagine that you have a wall, not too far, just maybe 1 foot or so. And then from here, we want to send the nose close to the wall, to the imaginary wall. And then the chest, like imagine that the chest, first the nose, and then the chest is touching the wall, and then the hips are touching the wall, and then the knees touching, and the foot. So you probably got where I'm going, like a sort of like a wavy movements. And really don't think of what others are doing, just like feel it, imagine, use the power of imagination. Imagine this wall, imagine to reach it, and use it as a way to open the spine in an intuitive way, basically. And if you fall, that's fine, just finding your balance again. And then reversing the direction. So first the foot goes there towards the wall, then the knee, then the hips, then the chest, the shoulders, the nose, and working on that reverse flow. It doesn't need to look nice. It needs to feel intuitive, maybe playful. When you're ready, come back to the ground with both legs, chair pose to stabilize. Inhale deeply, shoulders down. Exhale, hands to prayer at your chest. And hinging forward towards your legs. And then slowly bend your knees a lot, rise up. Shoulders down, away from the ears. Finding your balance one more time. This time balancing on the right leg, on the right foot. And allowing the left foot to be a bit off the mat. And again, we're sending the nose and the chest and the hips, and then the knee and the foot towards the imaginary wall. And I'll stand out of your way so you can have fun with maybe something different today. The nose, so nose, chest, and then the hips, and the knee, and the foot. Yeah, however you like, either the toes, or there's no right or wrong. And we're not recording like dance performances, so don't worry. And then it's just to mobilize the spine. And then on reversing the direction, so then first the foot touches the imaginary wall, then the knee, and then the hips, the chest, and the nose. And just moving in any way, maybe even moving the arms, just do whatever you want, as long as you move the spine. And once you had enough fun with this, come back to the mat with both feet, and join us in another short chair pose to stabilize. Sinking down, sending the shoulders down, pinkies are facing, hands in prayer if you like. Inhale deeply. As you exhale, fold over your legs. And stay here for one more round of breath. Option to interlace the fingers if you'd like, maybe the odd interlace, the one you don't do normally with the other thumb on top. And slowly release the interlock if you have it. Bend your knees a lot to rise up. One vertebra at a time. We are gonna do one more fun thing today. And we need a wall for that if you are something stable, I don't know. A wardrobe if it's stable. So basically, well, first let's do it on the ground first. So let's come to the ground with your right leg in front to a low lunge. Sorry, it took some time. And then from here, we are just doing movements with the arms so we send the right arm forward, and then we make a circle. Basically, we send it to the right side and then up and back. And maybe we follow that with eyes, if that's okay with your neck, and basically sweeping the arm. Okay, with one arm and then with the other one. So starting here and then sweeping, opening, and coming back, sweeping towards the ground. And switching legs if you like. So left leg, left arm, maybe starting with that. Opening first, reaching towards the back. And then you can use the hands to be on the other hand to be on the ground if you like. When you come close and you need to stabilize, just opening like that. And then come back to sit on your heels, shoulders rolling down and back, and then reversing the direction. And as we step up, we're going to do something similar, let's say on the wall, where we reach forward with the arm like we did before. And then we're going to reach and we find the wall. And we want to have the fingers pointing internally with this hand. And then we will reach, so we can come first to a distance where we can reach the wall. It doesn't need to be super far away. And we can micro bend the knees. We can find the right length. If you want to try, if you don't want to be in the recording, you can try on somewhere there. And then from here, the fingers are pointing internally. And again, so we look towards the hand, and then we place the other hand pointing internally as well, and we sweep the arm to the side. I know it's a bit different from what we did on the ground, but just enjoying, just stretching, and it's a way basically to practice with that opening, but without that daunting movement of like going all the way from here straight. But we will take it like from the side, opening a door, let's say, reaching back and moving forward. And then the other side, so sweeping the left arm, reaching back. And if that's too much, it's fine, to skip it for today, or just, take it slowly, to bend the knees a bit more. Just try experimenting with that in a fluid way, so moving rather than rather than going directly to sort of like a bridge pose. Very nice. And that's all. So you have one more. So you can practice for one more time if you like, or otherwise relax and release. And come back to the when you'd like, come back to the mat for some winding down. Just sitting and then moving the shoulders down and back. We're gonna do a few more of these exercises next time. For now, just noticing the feeling, hopefully everything okay. It should be a bit less intense than going directly all the way like that. And then closing the eyes for a moment, breathing deeply, inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. And one more time, inhale and deep exhale. When you're ready, opening the eyes, reaching forwards with your hands, coming all the way down to the ground with your belly on the ground, like we did before, reaching up to cobra. And then to upward facing dog. And then coming all the way down one more time, left cheek on the ground. Wiggling the hips. And right cheek on the ground. Coming back to the front with your forehead. And then from here, reaching back. So opening the chest and reach back with your hands, lifting the legs and the arms as well, looking up. And then release. We're gonna do it one more time if you fancy, or otherwise staying where you are. If you'd like to come back to locust pose, reaching up and back, either stay here or grabbing the external edges of your ankles or your thigh or your shins. Opening and then release. Breathing deeply. And when you're ready, place. So from here, actually extend. So place both hands close to the body, close to the chest, and then leave the right hand as it is and extend the left arm. And your left cheek is on the ground. And from here, bend the right knee and send the right toes on the ground, opening. Send the knee towards the ceiling, and you should feel a stretch on your left shoulder. And then coming back to the center, both hands on the ground, right cheek on the ground. And then from here, extend the right arm to the side, bend the left knee, come to the other side with your left toes, stretching the right side body. And when you're ready, come back to center with both legs. The hands are close to the body one more time. This time, extending the right arm in front of you. And then from here, use the other hand to push yourself to a supine position. And you may need to go back towards the center of the mat. And then when you're ready, send both knees close to the body, hug them in. And either stay there or drawing circles with the knees, with your hands on the knees in one direction and then in the other one. And maybe coming back to happy baby. So reaching towards the external edges of the feet, or even to the internal for a change today. Anyway, feeling the low back, the contact of the low back on the ground as you push your feet towards the hands and vice versa. And from here, bend the knees. Option 2, go to bridge pose one more time. Or option 2, just start making your way to Shavasana, relaxing and lengthening the legs, opening the chest, opening the arms, palms facing up. And just focus on the breath one more time, coming back to the breath. Never mind. I think I need to learn. Anyway, deep breath in through the nose. And open mouth, exhale. Placing the hands, one on your belly and one on the chest. And we're going to do 3 more deep breaths. Inhale with the nose. Open mouth, exhale. Second, inhale deeply. And exhale out. And last time, inhaling through the nose and releasing out. Releasing any control of the breath. Just allowing yourself, giving yourself permission to be here, to stay still for a few moments. Slowly starting to deepen your breath. Wiggle the toes. And stretch, maybe as if you were waking up. Opening the arms to the sides, bending your knees, and roll up to your favorite side. Maybe using the bottom arm as a pillow. And then slowly, slowly use the top hand to push yourself up to a seat, keeping your eyes closed. Closing with your hands in prayer at your chest as a sign of gratitude for yourself to have set this time during your day to breathe, to move, to be present. And also as a sign of gratitude for all the others practicing with us today. And slowly opening the eyes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope to see you again. And this light thing, I failed. I will learn